Look, if you had one shot, or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment.
Welcome to week 4 of this week in the MFL. We just spit out the week 3 podcast, and I wanted to see if we could hurry up and knock out week 4 for you. That way we can take a look at some sleepers, some stats, maybe even start looking at some power rankings, those kinds of things. So look, let's not waste any time. I'm going to hop right in it. The 1-4 Bears are going to drop a loss on the road to your 4-0 Raiders. The Raiders are undefeated, and man, they are rolling. Let's take a look at the stats and see what it says. Another really balanced attack, a great rushing game today for the Raiders. Third down percentage was high, 57%. They get 5 takeaways, and that Bears team is really struggling right now. Jay Cutler, 5 interceptions. He goes 10 for 23. That's not going to be good. Adrian Peterson getting lost over there. 13 carries, 80 yards, a touchdown. That's not bad, but he didn't really carry the ball a ton. Only 13 carries. And he's kind of, people are forgetting that he's even over there in Chicago. Derek Carr goes for 155, but he throw a pick. But look at this, Darren McFadden, 27 carries, 192, and 4 touchdowns. He's acting like he's in Arkansas, running over my LSU Tigers again. Nothing really too impressive on either team. I mean, Dante Moncrief is having a quite good season over here. 4 receptions for 97 with a long of 60. No putting from the Raiders. I guess they just decided to turn the ball over instead. Just some really good defense and really good running game. You got a pick from Wolf. You got a pick from Branch. You got 3 from Terrell Brown. Over here you have 6 tackles for Clinton Kane of the Bears with to go along with his sack. And you know what? This is the difference right here. You got Darren McFadden, 27 carries, Adrian Peterson, 13. That's your problem right there. And 5 interceptions. That's not going to help anyone. But your Raiders stay undefeated and keep a really impressive start going for this team. The next game on the docket is going to be your Patriots dropping a close one. They fall to 2-2. They drop to the 4-0 Jets, 16-19. That was a close game. That's a tough one to drop. Not much going on here for the Patriots. The Jets just play really good defense. They get a takeaway. They're going to force you to 0% on third down and only 25 yards rushing. That's tough. Tom Brady doesn't have as bad a game as he did last time, but the running backs don't have the kind of running game they had last time. Only 12 carries for Vereen and 3 for Ridley. Over here, Chris Johnson and Chris Ivory both splitting the load as they 11 carries for Ivory, 9 carries for Johnson. Geno, another solid game, 23 of 30, 206 and a touchdown. It's just a good, solid game. And then they go play good defense. A couple sacks here, another interception from Pryor, 5 tackles from Demario Davis. Just a really solid game. KO hangs tight and keeps it close. But this right here, 17 yards and 8 yards. That's going to keep you from making this 3-point difference on the road. Our next game on the docket is going to be your 3-1 Saints now, dropping a game to D-Money and his Rams at 3-2, 23-3. This is a bit of, this is okay. It's not a bit. This is a huge shocker. The Rams are playing well. I mean, the Rams are the Rams. D-Money's always going to have his team ready to go. But Dave has just quietly and solidly made the playoffs every year and made, a couple of runs and a kind of own the NFC South and just kind of plugging away quietly. And here's your difference. Here's your problem. 3 takeaways for the Rams. Only allowing 45% on third down. That's not terrible, but they only allowed 58 yards rushing. That's the key right there, because you gotta keep Dave from eating the clock and just kind of keeping the ball and running it down. 3 picks. They forced Brees into 3 picks. He just doesn't have it anymore. Here it is right here. 16 carries, 39 yards, along with 7. Even Mark Ingram tried to jump in there to get things going, and just didn't work out. Mallett, solid game, 163 and a touchdown. They got to find some running game. 17 carries, 55 yards for Sankey. But you know what? This is a nice win for your St. Louis Rams. Joyner, 10 tackles, is always going to help the cause. Only 1 sack from Lofton, no interceptions. That's what Dave and his Saints are known for. Play defense, run the ball, dink and dunk with Breeze, and force you into some bad plays. Didn't work today. The Rams take them out 23 to 3. The next game is going to be the Bengals. This was a huge game. I really thought this was going to come out the other way, but the Bengals fall to 1-3. The Browns improved to 2-3 with a 3-point win at home against the Bengals. Another balanced attack. That's kind of the key. They do get 5 sacks. That's always going to help. That's going to help you overcome 75% on third down. Johnny Manziel, look, nothing, jaw dropping. He does go for 253. That's really nice. But look, no touchdowns. That hurts, but no interceptions. Then you get Sutton, the rookie, 29 carries for 111, 2 touchdowns. You're eating the clock. Johnny's making some plays. He didn't have any rushing attempts. You'd probably like to see a couple of attempts there. You want to see him, put the pressure on the defense. Go on the other side. Palmer, this kid can play some ball. 18 of 21, 267, 3 touchdowns. That's really nice. But Mason and Bernard, they don't really have too much going here. 21 carries, only 60 yards. For whatever reason, Bernard only got 2 carries. You would want to see more there. Bernard's a good player, plays well for them, but he's got to do more than just 2 carries. Jordan Cameron, 6 receptions, 81 yards, helping Johnny Football out. Josh Gordon sighting, that's good to see. 7 catches for 94 yards. Just some good defense from both teams. 2 sacks from Murray, 2 sacks from John Abraham. That's impressive. I thought that guy's knees blew out and he retired, but hey, he's there. He's making plays for the Browns, and they get a really nice win at home. The next game is going to be the 1-3 Chargers falling to 1-3, only putting up 12 points on the road against Jeremy and his 3-1 Chiefs. You got 4 sacks for each team, but 3 takeaways for the Chiefs. Chargers had those 2 takeaways, but they gave the ball up 3 times. That's going to be tough. Again, 0% on third down. Jeremy just forces you into some really tough plays. Tyler Bray not really making it happen, but 9 for 20, nothing to really brag about. 2 interceptions. He's going to have to do better than that. He's going to clean that up. Peyton Manning, 2 interceptions, 9 for 20. He got so bad even Kellen Clemens got some playing time. Danny Woodhead, 10 carries, 42 yards. That's not bad, but he's got to have more than 10 carries. Over here, Jamal Charles, 22 carries. Just keep feeding the guys the rock. Just keep giving the ball, eating the clock. You can overcome these kinds of interceptions and those kinds of negative plays. They play some really good defense. You're always going to see a couple sacks. Always going to see a couple of interceptions. And that's how the Chiefs, that kind of seems to be the winning formula for a lot of teams. Play really good defense and run the ball. And it worked. Chiefs move to 11-1. Next game up is going to be the Packers getting Their first win of the season, 28-16 against the Vikings. And just when you thought maybe the Vikings started figuring this out, they dropped 2 games back to back. That's going to be tough. Only 40 yards allowed rushing for the Vikings, but they only get 32 yards. And here it is again. 5 takeaways for the Packers, 30% for third down for the Vikings. Those are tough stats to overcome. Teddy Bridgewater, he played well last week, not this week. 4 interceptions. I know you went for 367, but 4 interceptions is going to hurt. The rookie not getting it done. 8 carries for 17 yards. Go to the other side. Eddie, 41. You got to do better than that, but he did get the ball 23 times. He stuck with it. And Rodgers has to play better than his 3 interceptions and only 13 of 24 for 214. Randall Cobb, big game, 5 receptions, 148 and 2. Cordell Patterson, 7 receptions, 177 and 2. Got to get those running game going though if you're going to hang in the OMFL. A couple of interceptions, a sack in on the day from Lumpkin, and this was just a good win for the Packers, a needed win for the Packers, and that NFC Central though looks to be the Lions to take. We'll see if any of these other teams are going to say anything about it, but early on it doesn't really look like it. He's almost got that division sewed up. Here is your game of the week. 2 defensive coaches, 2 defensive-minded coaches, and the OMF Bowl champions, Emo and his Texans, moved to 3-1 with a 10-7 win over Webb and his Denver Broncos. This was a nice win on the road for the Texans. It goes back to they're just, quietly chipping away, picking up wins here and there. Not really blowing you away with stats. Not really blowing you away with anything. Just getting some wins. 1 takeaway, Webb plays good defense. He plays smart, sound football. But that 1 takeaway is going to come back to haunt you. 140 yards rushing for the Texans. That's not really Webb-like. Only 28% on third down, 72% for the Texans. That's going to be a tough stat to get over. Johnny Fisher has that rookie game that all these rookies tend to be having. Gets an interception, nothing too impressive at 157. Savage plays better. More careful with the ball, no picks. Trent Richardson, God, the guy's a workhorse, 29. He's got to be leading the league in carries. I'd love to look that up. The guy's got to have 200 carries already this season. He just keeps running the ball and running the ball. Adrian doesn't run the ball as much. Nothing. 40 yards and a touchdown's not terrible, but only 13 carries. You want to see that up around that 18 to 22 range for the Broncos. Well, just a really big defensive game. Both teams going at it. And the Texans show why they're the champions with a 3-point win on the road. That would have been a fun game to watch. The Seahawks with a big win. Alright, I'll be the first to admit, I can't figure out these Seahawks. Up and down, back and forth. Sometimes you think they're out of it, but man, that team is so good. They'll get these kinds of wins, and it's really, really confusing. The Ravens are coming off with a big win last week at home against the Seahawks. They lay an egg, only 7 points. The Seahawks get 3 takeaways, 61% on third down. Those are good stats. Nothing to brag about on running and passing the ball, but again, we got a little quarterback controversy here. Only 3 for 7 for the rookie, an interception. The rookie free agent at that. Joe Flacco doesn't do that much better. A touchdown, but only 142 yards of 12 of 30, so less than 50%. Russell Wilson, he's got to do better than 2 interceptions. He's got to do better than 11 for 23. Not much rushing game from either team. Not a bad combination here with Hillman and Pierce, but you want to see better. You want to see some better numbers there. Bobby Wagner, 7 tackles to go with his interception. Jeremy Lane, 4 tackles to go with his interception. Earl Thomas even gets him an interception. No sacks though. That's kind of a shocking thing from these Seahawks. They usually get a lot of pressure, but you know what? Some key turnovers from Flacco and Beasley, and the Seahawks pick up a good win on the road against a solid Ravens team. Next game up is going to be the Redskins getting their first win of the season. Way to go, Clavin. They moved to 1-3 with a 24-20 win over the Eagles. Now, I gotta be honest, I don't even know who owns the Eagles anymore. Yes, I do. It's Mikey. That's right. He's got the rookie quarterback. I think that's going to be starting now. You see if he is. No, he's still sticking it out with Nick Foles. Maybe he should turn to that rookie after this game. But 2 takeaways for the Eagles, but the Redskins overcome it with all these passing yards. A balanced attack from the Eagles. 42% on third down. It's not, it's okay. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions from Robert Griffith, 385 yards passing. Nick Foles goes for 235 and 1. Here's a big game from McCoy, 18 for 121. Now I'm looking at it. This is probably going to be a sim. Samuel Ramsey, 7 grabs for 131. So I guess the Redskins will pick up wins however they have to get them, whether this was a sim or not a sim. 12 tackles for Kendricks to go with his 1 sack. It's a nice game from your outside linebacker. And the Eagles drop a really big one at home. This you got to win these kinds of games, and they drop it at home. Next game up is going to be the 49ers getting a win on the road against the Lions. The Lions have, they've confused me, because here's a team that really stuck it to me, and that defensive line was all over my guys, and I really thought, I don't know how anybody beat him, and he moved to 2-1 on the season, but has dropped a couple of games here, and the 49ers with a big win on the road. The 49ers are the team to, maybe not, but they look to be the team to beat in the NFC. I mean, this team is really good. They only allowed 85 yards of rushing, passing, and 97 yards rushing. They have 2 takeaways, and they win the game 14-10 on the road. Colin Kaepernick, nothing to brag about, 179 with an interception. You got your 2-headed monster starting to show up here. 44 yards for Williams, 19 for Rodgers. I had Williams in the last Madden. He's a good, solid, in-the-middle running back. Doesn't turn the ball over. Reggie Bush, keeping his season going. 17 carries for 95. Here it is right here, though. 2 interceptions for Stanford. He's got to do better than that. Calvin Johnson, 1 reception for 4 yards. That's not going to cut it. Eric Ebron, 2 for 36. Got to do better than that. Go back over here. Davis, nothing terrible. 4 receptions for 48. You do a good job on defense, but it's those big plays. That 1 interception by Brooks and by Reed look to be 2 really big plays. Justin Smith breaking through, getting some D-line pressure with 2 sacks. With 3 sacks of his own. Fairley throws in a sack of his own. But it's the 49ers who make just the right amount of plays to get the 4-point win. And that's impressive, because the Lions are a good team. And that NFC North is it's in the air. Who knows what's going to happen there, because that division's for the taking. The Bills with the 65-16 win. 4-0 Bills over the 0-4 Dolphins. who knows? This is clearly a sim. 2 takeaways, 426 yards rushing for the Bills. Kind of sucks stat-wise because that kind of throws everything off. But you got 2 running backs here that almost both go for 200. It is what it is. 2 touchdowns for Milner. As the backup quarterback got some playing time. Maybe this wasn't a sim. I don't know what it was, but if it wasn't a sim, shame on the Bucs for putting up 65. But who knows what it really was or what it really wasn't. Not really a game you want to talk about. 65-16, the Bills keep their undefeated season going, and the Dolphins, I guess, already have given up. Cardinals with a big 31-8 win to move to 3-1 over the 0-4 Cowboys. Not going to say a whole lot about this game because I do have a video that's also going to be processed and be put out. Here it is, though. 4 takeaways for the Cardinals. A good, solid balanced attack from the quarterback. Welsh, who goes for 147-1. Good, balanced rushing attack. Nothing to really brag about. It got out of hand because of all of the interceptions and fumbles and stuff. Early on, Peterson has a touchdown on an early fumble recovery, and backups started coming in and just started running the clock and not really trying to do too much other than get the game over with. And so this was just a tough game for the Cowboys. I do believe in Sam. I think he's the better quarterback, and I think he'd be a really good quarterback in this league for a long time to come. The Falcons move to 2-2 with a 36-9 win over the Jaguars. This is very un-Jaguar-like. They usually don't give up that many points, but it's the 3 takeaways. 3 takeaways that are going to hurt them. Blake Bortles, 3 interceptions. Not much rushing game. You want to see Carter get a couple more carries, but he's got to do better than 45 yards on 18. You want to see this up around the 75 to 85 yard range with that many carries. But Matt Ryan goes for 4 touchdowns, 248 in the air on 12 of 19. That's not very Jaguars-like. They usually do a better job than that. Julio grabs 6 for 172 and 3. A.C. Leonard, 6 catches for 132 over here. You want to see better defense from the Jags because that's what they're known for. But the Falcons get a really nice win here. I know it's against a winless team, but the reason I say it's nice is because they do hang up 36 on a really good defensive team in the Jaguars. And so that's a good win. They got a long way to go in that really tough NFC South at 2-2. And so the last game on the night that we're going to look at is a 1-point win on the road for your Colts. They move to 3-1. The Panthers fall to 3-1. That's a tough game, especially when you have that good undefeated season. You're at home, you're hanging in there, and then you just drop one late by 1 point. 2 takeaways for the Panthers, only 1 for the Colts. Right here, 45% though on 3rd down. That's going to help. And then you you give up a little bit of a balanced attack here. 4 sacks for the Panthers to to keep things going. This is a tough game for the Panthers to drop. Cam Newton, 189 and 2. You want to see better rushing yards from Stewart. More rushing yards from Bradshaw. They got to get a running game. Luck tried to carry the team. It worked. He did go for 308 and 2 touchdowns, but those 2 interceptions are going to come back to get you later on. Just a good. This would have been a great game to watch. If you guys recorded this, you got to post a link because that's a fun game to watch. A 1-point win for the Colts over a really good Panthers team, and that NFC South. That's looking to be a tough division so far this year. Let's take a look at a couple sacks. And look, Week 5 just advanced last night. We already got games coming in, but I think we can kind of get, a pretty good look. Really impressive. Again, the Texans, very quietly, 3-1. Nothing impressive. Nothing stands out. You're wondering how they're doing it. This is my surprise team, though. The Jets at 4-0. The Raiders, the commish is the commission, and there's a reason that he's so good. He's got a really good, fast, young team here. And then the Buffalo Bills keeping it alive. Yeah, they got a really great season going. Makes it tough. The Browns in a really bad division. They're going to need to win their division games because that's going to be the only way you're going to make playoffs. When you're second team outside of the wild card is 3-1. That's a tough season. Those are some really good teams over there in the South. Not gonna say much about the Cards. I got a long way to go. I don't really expect this to last much longer. Saints doing the Saints. 3-1. Peppers got his team up in the division league. Again, same thing like the AFC over here with the Browns. The Lions going to have to win their division because you get the 49ers, the Panthers, the Bucks. Even the Seahawks are hanging in there. I think the AFC may be a little bit tougher this year with Dunn going over there. It may have pushed them over. The Jets are back. AFC's looking really tough to compete in this year. I think one of the better quarterback jobs so far this year has been by Colin Kaepernick. He's having a solid year. Look at this. 121 carries from Trent Richardson for 485. But look at Bush. Way less carries. 5.6 yards a carry. 6 touchdowns. Reggie, you're doing it big, man. That's impressive. Mike Wallace for struggling Dolphins team, making it look easy with 28 receptions for 549. This is a good receiver who just needs more plays. He needs more plays to take place. Sorry, I was lost in this Raiders-Chiefs game that's on. The Raiders were celebrating and were like 40 yards behind the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped. It was just kind of funny. So, Matthew Stafford not helping Reggie at all. 14 picks. Teddy, you got to do better. 14 picks. Jay Cutler, kind of used to that. Dalton Sam, keep your head up. Nice tackles there from Mosley, Wagner, Willis. You expect those kind. Look at this. Willis, Whitner, Bowman. Same team. and these guys are 3 of your top 5. That team knows how to play some really good defense. Nothing really impressive here. Let's look at this right here. This is not a good division here. Don't count the Bengals out. I'm just telling you right now, don't count those Bengals out. They're gonna get it all together. They've got a good team. They've just dropped a couple close games. Look for this team to take this division over, unless Johnny Football keeps playing good football. Okay. And over here, you got the Detroit Lions, who've had a lot of opportunities to run away with this division. Haven't done it. 2-3. They got to be better than that. But you know what? No one here is doing anything worth mentioning, and that's going to have to be better. Go over here to the NFC West. I still think the toughest division in the MFL. 4-1, 4-1, 3-2, 3-2. NFC South also looks really nice with the Saints, Panthers, and Bucks even making a run, and the Falcons are letting us know not to count them out. Quick look at your rankings, your power rankings. You got the Buffalo Bills number 1. Do not agree with that. Of course, they get that big sim win. That's why it probably helps their ratings right here. I think your Raiders are going to be number 1, and then I go Jets number 2. I like Denver this high. I think that I would put them under Kansas City. I wouldn't put the Panthers quite this high. I like the 49ers up above them. Some interesting ratings here. I think the Texans, though their stats haven't looked great, I think that they should be higher. They're winning. They're the champions. Are 3-1. The Bucks are way too low. 14 is way too low for this team. The Patriots, I think 17 is way too low for them. The Browns, 18, maybe a little bit higher than that. Seahawks, that's pretty low for a 3-2 team. Everyone else, I think is pretty much kind of where they belong. I think the Vikings are too low at 1-4. I think they're better than the Jags and the Titans. I don't know. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Feel free to leave me some comments here. Let me know what you think about those ratings. So the betting is back and going strong. See if we can't take a quick look at those before we close shop here. See how fast or slow my internet's going to be. And take a look at the Week 5 gambling thread that's up, in case you guys haven't thrown your votes in just yet. And there you go. There's your standings. There's your votes. And there's your spread. All right, fellas. Thanks for tuning into the show.
Miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a